Smith Roll Kitchen. I'm Gayatri.
And I'm Rahul.
And we have a special treat for you. What are we making?
So today we're making a staple from our kitchen, a red lentil and spinach soup. Which
The soup is vegan. It's so easy to make and it's perfect for cold day. It's a great comfort food.
And our two teens absolutely love this soup and ask for it all the time.
Yep, it's definitely a family favorite.
So it takes minutes to make the soup, literally.
It does. So let's show them how it's done.
So we start with a medium-sized onion, or I have small-sized onions, so I'm using 2 of them in lieu of a medium-sized onion. And I want to quickly just prep these. And while I just quarter these up so that I can then refine my cut from there, in the quick cooker, we're going to get started. Put that on sear setting so that it gets warm. And we're going to put a tablespoon of oil so that that's ready and that's warming. So by the time I'm done with the onions, the oil is ready.
So the quick cooker is an electric pressure cooker, and you can use any electric pressure cooker that you have. You could definitely also do it, to make it easy for you, however you want to. But we're using this.
So stovetop, if you wanted to do the soup stovetop, it's absolutely doable. What you would do is you would start by warming a tablespoon of olive oil right on your stove in a big size pot, okay?
Yeah.
So here, again, we've got this turned onto the sear setting, and that's gonna heat up our oil real fast. In the meanwhile, I quartered up those 2 small-sized onions that I have.
And threw them into the manual food processor.
Yeah, now you can absolutely do the onions by hand. They just need to be a very fine dice. And I find that doing them in the food processor is easier so that I don't tear up. And
this is how easy it is. Kids can help with the manual food processor. There is no sharp blades where they're going to get their fingers in, and obviously there is a sharp blade to get these onions done.
Meanwhile,
that's all there is to that.
I have 3 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to quickly peel this garlic so that that's ready for us. And all I'm going to do is throw it into my sleeve here, and out comes the garlic, and the peel gets stuck inside the sleeve here.
The really nice part about this is all the delicious taste of garlic is in the oils. So the less you touch the garlic, as you're cutting it, peeling it, all of that, the more flavor you're going to preserve.
So give this guy one more toss, and there's 3 cloves of garlic. Ready?
Okay. Yep.
And we're gonna get rid of the
oil is
peel.
almost heated. It's not there quite yet. So while that's going on, we're going to add just a couple of different vegetables in here. We're going to add some celery and some carrots. So let's show you how easy it is to prep these carrots. You can use, again, the knife and just cut them on a cutting board. I'm going to use my Rapid Prep mandolin. I have a bunch of carrots in here, and I'm just going to push this down.
So we're looking for roughly, a 1/4 of an inch slice carrots. And the carrots will add a nice texture to the soup.
And color. I think colors are so important in food because they really add the nutrients, but it also just helps to give you that little visual beauty of food.
Excellent. So you can hear that the oil has started to warm. You can hear it splatter.
It's sizzling,
sizzling.
for sure.
So here I'm going to go ahead and stick in the diced onions. And again, if you're doing those by hand, just have them ready so that when your oil is warmed up, you can just quickly add the onions.
The other vegetable we're adding in there is celery. So I just have big sticks in here that I'm also going to quickly slice up.
Here's a pro tip. If you get celery from the store and it has celery leaves on top, don't discard the leaves. The leaves have a ton of flavor, so use the leaves.
Yep. So here we are. This is how quick and easy it took us to do. Was it 3 or 4 carrots and
yep.
3?
And look, even
celery?
if you're doing it by hand, it's not going to take you much time to cut up a few. 3 carrots, 2 celery stalks, and if you want to do the celery leaves by hand, just give them a nice chop. So we've got the onion in there. I'm gonna move this mandolin over.
Yep, actually, I'll take this to do the rest of the celery leaves.
Okay.
Perfect. So that's all the prep work there is for this soup, actually. And there, my celery leaves are done too. Very, very easy. And the nice part about using the manual one is you can make it as coarse and or as fine as you want.
Excellent. Now that I'm just going to give the onions a quick stir in here. And what you're looking for the onions is just to make sure that the oil covers up all the onions. You don't want the oil burning alone. And then I'm just going to add the celery and the onion, celery leaves, the celery and the onion, celery and the carrots at this time. All the vegetables to begin the soup are going to just go in now. So
I'll help you with these. There you go.
Off that goes.
And we'll get the last little bit of these. You know what's really nice about this is an easy make ahead, put in the fridge, reheat soup, and it's really delicious. Any time of the day, lunch, dinner.
A few celery leaves in here that I should get out. All right, I love cooking with my hands. You can absolutely go in with a spatula. Gayatri, we are ready to go in with the garlic. Would you mind pressing in the garlic?
Sure. We're going to use a garlic press to get our garlic nice and fine. So there's that one. I have to go find my garlic brush so I can scoop out all the garlic that is in here. But I will get all 3 of my cloves done. There you go. And as you ask, it appears there is the garlic.
Now we're gonna let that go for just one more second here. Just get the garlic all mixed in and beginning to cook. And what we're looking for is for the raw smell of the garlic to just dissipate. We don't need to brown any of the vegetables here. We just need to get them all just started.
Perfect. So
we need 1 bay leaf that we're gonna add in.
there is all of that. You want to tell them about the lentils?
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
lentils we're using?
So today's recipe requires us to use red lentils. Now, red lentils are protein rich. They are absolutely delicious, and when they cook up real creamy, and they're red, and when they cook up to a nice yellow color. So we have a cup of red lentils here that I've washed until the water ran clear underneath. And that's important to do because you want to use, if you're using a dried bean of any sort, you just want to wash it.
The nice part about using dry beans is you're not getting all the preservatives that come in a can.
Exactly.
They're also super cost effective.
Yep.
Like the whole big bag might have cost us $5 for like
yeah, it's very reasonable.
3-4 pounds, and you know you're gonna make a lot out of it. So it's a very budget-friendly recipe.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and begin seasoning the soup. So for the seasoning, we need a 1/2 teaspoon each of salt and pepper, and a teaspoon of dried cumin powder.
I like that adjustable measuring spoon because you only need one to measure everything.
So there's a 1/2 teaspoon of just table salt.
And cumin.
A whole tablespoon of dried cumin powder. And that's in there. And give that a stir. Yep. And all we're doing here is blooming just the spices a little bit. And then I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of just black pepper, ground black pepper. Okay? Now.
So this is a very clean soup. It doesn't really have too many ingredients, too many spices at all in here.
Nope, not at all. Now we're going to add the last two ingredients, and then we're going to finish it off once it's cooked with some coconut milk and some lime and the spinach. Those three are going to be our last three ingredients that we put in.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put all the spices off on the side here, give that one stir, and before I go much farther here, I'm just going to lift this up and give you a sneak peek as to what it looks like. So there you go. The veggies are just barely beginning to cook. The spices, just the aroma from the spices is delicious. And again, as you're doing the stovetop, if you're doing the stovetop, what you want to do is just cook the veggies and then add your lentils. So this is again a cup of red lentils washed. Make sure you get all the little bits in there. You don't want to waste anything.
Yep, all good stuff there.
And again, I am never hesitant to go in with my hands and make sure that every last little bit is out.
And then we are going to be adding broth. You could, since this is vegan, we're going to use the
vegetable broth.
Vegetable broth.
You are welcome to use any kind of broth that you like, any sort of seasoned broth that you like. And
it's 4 cups of broth, which is usually
one whole box.
One whole container. Yep.
Yep. So in goes the whole thing, and we're going to give it one more stir, and then we're going to shut the lid, and we're going to put it on the soup setting. If you have an Instant Pot, or if you have some sort of a cooker, an electric pressure cooker, you may want to check and see what sort of settings are available to you. The soup setting works fantastic.
Okay. So I'm going to cancel out of the sear. I'm going to close this up. Make sure that the steam release is not engaged.
Yep.
And I'm going to turn it to the soup.
Yep. If you were doing the stovetop, what you would do is you would add all the ingredients just like we've showed you, and you would stick the cover on, let the whole thing come to a boil. And then you would proceed to, when it's up to a boil, you would turn it down so that you get it to a simmer, and you would simmer the lentils for about 40 to 45 minutes until they're mushy.
Yeah, basically, the pressure cooker makes it easy to do it quickly, and it preserves the flavors. Pressure cooking is very, very safe, and it's the easiest and the fastest way to get your meals on the table.
So we'll let this go, and then we'll come back and open it all up together and then finish it all together. Thanks.
All right, so our soup is ready. The quick cooker just beeped. Here's the nice part about it too. If you don't get to it right away, it just goes to the warming cycle, so you're not going to burn your food. All right, so let's cancel it. And we have to let the steam out.
So in order to let the steam out, we're going to move
away.
away.
And I'm going to press the manual steam release button. That's the beauty of an electric pressure cooker with great safety features, is that you won't be able to open the lid until the pressure has come down fully, and there's no danger of you opening it.
Now we said...
One more thing was, this little red light will, not light, but this little red indicator will pop up when it's full of steam, and it just, I don't know if you heard the little click, it popped right down when the steam was fully released. So a little bit of finishing touches here.
3 things to finish the soup. One is a can of coconut milk, which will add an extra layer of creaminess and
make it vegan.
Make it vegan, very, very nice. And so using...
And, it doesn't have the calories of the heavy cream.
Right. So if you don't mind, go ahead and add all of that.
I love the can opener that you used, Rahul, because there's no sharp edges in here.
Right. And if you want to save the rest of the coconut milk, all I would do is just pop the top back on, and it can be saved just like that. Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm going to use all of it up and not waste a single drop of this lovely coconut milk. Okay. All right, so you're adding spinach for the extra boost of nutrients in here.
I have here 5 cups of loose leaf fresh spinach.
We washed it, but the nice part about this is it doesn't need cooking again. The spinach is going to wilt
right in here
quickly.
because it's warm. And again, if you're doing this on stovetop, at the end of your, when your lentils are fully cooked, you would do exactly the same thing. You
Just
would
cover
add
up the lid after you add the spinach.
You would add the coconut milk. You would add the spinach. I've got a few other pieces here that have escaped. Those
And I
go
would
in
just
there.
cover it all up and just let it sit for like 5 minutes.
Right, and the final finishing touch is a lemon. So
Here's a tip for you. For your lemon or lime to squeeze a little extra juice, microwave it for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
10-15 seconds should do it.
And it'll kind of get the juices flowing a little more.
And the other half here. And give that all a mix in.
Yep.
Put the lid on top. And we're gonna give it just a 5 minutes to let the spinach wilt. And we'll be back to serve.
I'm so excited, Rahul. It's time to serve up.
Absolutely. So the spinach has been sitting in there for 5 minutes.
We're going to release the pressure again, just because it probably did build up a little bit with it being closed. Open it up. Here we are.
Okay, now.
Let's give it a quick stir before we pull it out. You need a nice big ladle for that, because your family will want the whole big bowl full.
Just give that a quick mix in there. That's good. Let me pull it out.
Yep. And make sure that when you're
Handling
pulling
it,
that out,
it's hot.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna give you a quick look in here as to what that looks like. It's nice, creamy,
Yeah, so
pale
make sure
yellow.
you're using those little grippers.
Yep.
Let's serve up a nice big bowl full. This is a perfect soup for a cold day.
Or even in the summer, it's just a hearty meal.
It's great even cold. This, you know, it's filling. The whole soup is just so comforting.
Yeah, there you go. That's a quick look at the creamy soup. Now,
And serve it with a salad, a slice of bread, whatever you want. Raul's definitely the taster, so he'll definitely taste it and tell us what it might need to adjust.
you don't need to adjust anything. It comes out right every time with that recipe.
Yeah. And all the lentils are like perfectly, I don't know, blended. You can't even tell that there were lentils in there.
And since it's one of these soups that is thick, it coats bread very nicely. If you like some crusty old bread with your soup, and it's delicious.
Enjoy. Thank you for joining us. Can't pass that up.